guys, welcome back. I feel like by now I have more than just a handful of cool toned fall holiday themed palettes that I could sit down and do kind of like a fall holiday palette ranking video. When I have some more time in the next few days to sit down, collect my thoughts and rank the palettes, I'll be sure to tell you guys all about it, what I think might be good to get for the holidays. But for today, we're going to take a look at Tom Ford's new quad for the holidays. This is called First Frost, and it is beautiful. Beautiful. Now, when I first saw the photos online, so these are the professionally taken photos that retailers are using online, it did look very similar to what he released last year in the Soleil collection. And that particular quad that people think this resembles most to is Soleil. I don't have Soleil, so I can't do swatches for you, but I can tell you the difference between each of the shades. So I guess the good news here is 3 out of the 4 shades are really pretty different from Soleil, and the only one that is probably the most similar or perhaps even identical is this deep brown here. So let's just get that out of the way. For those wondering, I'm gonna go ahead and swatch each one of these shades. These are what they look like on my finger, and this is a very bright shade. Compared to Soleil, this is much more white and really has more of a punch, whereas the kind of light shade from Soleil is a bit more like a topper, and it has more of that chunky shimmer to it. This is the pink shade, and this is my favorite shade. And this just reminds me of like antique rose, satin, silk fabric. It's so luxurious and beautiful. I centered today's look around this shade, and I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. We'll talk more about this after the demo at the end. And then here is the one of the 2 browns. And then this last shade here is the one that is nearly identical, or perhaps identical, to the same deep brown shade from Soleil. So these 3 shades here are pretty drastically different. Again, I don't have the palette, so I can't do a side by side, but you'll find other YouTubers who really compare them side by side and did swatches. I can tell you those 3 are different. So if you already have the Soleil quad from last year, you could do without this quad. But if you're a collector or an enthusiast, which I think a lot of people watching are probably enthusiasts, if not maybe big Tom Ford fans, I would say this quad is worth it just for this shade. It really is. It's gorgeous. It's beautiful. And when I look towards my collection, I have the Pat McGrath Divine Rose 1 and 2. I have also Natasha Denona's Lila palettes. So there's a lot of like mauves, taupes, kind of like pink undertones across those 3 palettes, but I still really, really like this. It's so pretty. Well, I'll share with you the rest of my thoughts after the demo. We're going to take this pink shade here and put that very generously all over the lid. And for anybody wondering, I'm using the side that doesn't have this deep shade on it so that I'm not transferring that shade onto the pink. And just to try it, I'm going to use my finger, and I'm going to add more of this pink right here. And like most metallic shades, it does help intensify the color. And if you guys saw my video from yesterday, I showed you that I got Makeup by Mario's mixing medium, or it's called the Master Metals Manipulator. I would like to use just a little bit of this on this shade, since these are wet dry formulas, and I just want to see what kind of intensity and payoff I could get out of it. I'm just going to drop 1 single drop onto a corner, and then I'm going to use the brush to pick product up. it definitely looks much more intense. And why not get some on the other eye as well? Next, we're taking this deep brown here and we're applying that to the outer corners and into the crease. And then in a light-handed manner, I'm going to dip a brush into this shade and we're actually going to blend that into the crease towards the inner corners. And taking the Crease Pro that we had before, I'm dipping it back into this lighter shade here, and we're just doing a bit more blending. So it looks more like a gradient. Then we'll add this really bright white frosty shade to the brow bone. I'll put on concealer foundation, we'll come back for the rest. And then we're going to do some tight lining with this shade here. And I'm going to apply Mario's Master Secret Glow. This is in Expensive. I'm going to apply that to the high points of my cheeks and this area of the forehead. I quite like what I got out of it yesterday, and I want to take this opportunity to try it some more before I come back with an update or give you guys any kind of like a final verdict. If you guys haven't seen my video on his products, I'll throw up a link above, but this is basically a clear balm and it gives you an instant glass effect. The product doesn't actually dry down, so I'm very curious what is going to happen to it if I wear it for many hours, and could it possibly cause skin irritation? You know, I don't know. It wore pretty comfortably yesterday, so we're going to test it again today and again a few other times just to see. But I just like that instant glass effect you can get from this one product. For lips, we're taking Hermes' Rose Ombre. Just this easy satin finish. A very neutral berry color. Here is the finished look. I was really looking forward to Tom Ford's fall winter collection this year. Last year when he came out with the Soleil Neige and those 3 quads, I didn't get any of them, and I really had a couple of chances too because they were actually clearing that product. A lot of retailers are clearing that product out at the beginning of this year, and I still didn't get it because I thought, let's just wait till the end of the year. I'm sure there's more than enough makeup releases and all of that to be occupied with. And so I'm glad I got this First Frost, and I do think they did a good job, even though one of the shades is basically a repeat from the prior year with Soleil Dival. That pink shade from First Frost is just beautiful, won me over instantly. And the fact that the quad has wet dry formulas. I really enjoy his wet dry formulas. I have 2 other Tom Ford quads. Only one of the 2 has a wet dry formula, and this is Honeymoon. I love Honeymoon. I've never created a bad look from Honeymoon. I know that if I add water, not even a mixing medium, just some water, spray it on, or wet the brush a little bit, I get a very intensified look. So I just like that a lot. And then the other Tom Ford quad I have is Meteoric. So Meteoric doesn't have any wet dry formulas in their shadows. We have a matte here, 2 kind of shimmer glitter shades. And this one is a satin. And it's not quite an intense metallic like the wet dry formula. It is beautiful in its own, but if I had to pick, I'd pick Honeymoon and of course First Frost. So to kind of reiterate what I was saying before, if you like Tom Ford, you're a collector, I do think that pink shade is worth it to get First Frost, and the only one that's repeated is that one shade. And I know people will have differing opinions because for $88 for shades, you probably don't want a repeat shade. I totally get it. But if you want to get it, I think you should. I really enjoy the quad. I think it's beautiful. I know I'll have many uses as it sits on my vanity for any holiday parties to follow, maybe, but any kind of small gathering, I'd be happy to pick up this quad and create something beautiful in a short amount of time. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you had a great week and an awesome start to your weekend. Take care. Till next time. Bye.